Hey there, guys and girls. It is Deviant Sock Puppet back here after a little nap. Uh, for those who weren't up earlier or were at work, depending on where you are in the world, uh, there was a Magic the Gathering Arena stress test event on earlier today. It started at 3 a.m. for me, so I did a stream then and went to take a little nap, which turned out a little bit longer than expected. But I'm here now and thought, you know what? I haven't actually broadcast any Final Fantasy XIV in a while. I've been doing my streams again a bit lately, but that's about it. I haven't really done much general stuff, so I thought, why not? This is a game I've very much played since it was in its initial alpha testing. Played it all the way through, and thought I would just come do some general stuff, see if we could find any friends watching who are on my Primal data center to maybe do some stuff with. I am right now in the Gold Saucer, which if you ever played Final Fantasy VII, is a very familiar name for you. For those who don't know, the Gold Saucer is actually a giant casino from Final Fantasy canon, which they remade here just as a bit of fun. Got the Triple Triad game, got all the Chocobo racing, which I can always show you a bit later if you like, as well as just lots of little fun events and mini games. Right. I think what we're going to do is we're going to teleport here to, I remember where it is somewhere. Idleshire, that's right, it's that one. We're going to pick up a new book and see what content is on offer for the week. Maybe go through some of our dungeons and things on some different jobs. And just anything else we come across out there. Said if you're new to the game or long-time player or just somewhat interested, maybe the whole concept of MMO seems a little bit overwhelming, feel free to ask any questions you like. Oh, I can hand her this journal. She's not going to like it though. She's going to tell me that it's all old and dusty smelly. It means I kept it past its expiry date. But we'll get a new one, because as an adventurer, we of course get little kids to tell us what to do so that we can write cool stories for her. Deltascape V4. Feast. Final coil. Bind. We can do that one. Ravenesta, Palace of the Dead, Heaven on High. We can do a little bit of that as well. Go to my dashboard so I can't hear myself. I was wondering who that person was talking around here. Okay. Party Find is just a way to see people doing things for think he was on there. Thought it was though. Oh, looks like they filled up while I was looking. Nothing super exciting. Let's go have a little bit of fun. Now, one of the things I definitely saw... Hi there, how you doing? The Binding Coil of Bahamut, turn 3. This was the first raid that they ever put out in A Realm Reborn, and I happened to be part of a free company called Blue Garter at the time, who was a very hardcore guild, and we were actually doing world first progression. I'm quite well, thank you. What have you been getting up to today? So, oh, no, wait, I don't want to do that. Withdraw. What we want to do is go undersized party. There we go, so we can run in there solo. So yeah, we cleared turns 1 and 2, world first. It's a funny story about glitching aside. And then we hit turn 3, and I have played WoW for a little bit. When Legion came out, a friend actually convinced me to try it out, but people seem to know the word guild more than free company. So let's see if I can remember this. So yeah, I don't know if you've ever been into turn 3. Basically it's just a complete gimmick turn. You run through all the pads, kill some little bosses, and go out and exit. And it completely blew our minds. We thought there must be some trick, there was some kind of hidden boss. We ran around trying to get, you see there's a chest over there, we went looking for every single chest in the area. We were convinced that we had missed something, you know. And finally it was just like, no, it's just like a complete gimme turn. I have no idea why they decided to do it still to this day. But yeah, I think there was a possibility that we would be stuck there to this day trying to find the secret hidden boss on this turn. It's Sonic. You jump through all the blue rings to get to the bottom. Sometimes there's a couple of teleporters which can either trick you or lead to the chests, but yeah. We could also die horribly, because of course we had no gear back in those days. Uh, but yeah, it's still the only time. I mean, yeah, turn three's always the third boss, rather, I should say, is always normally kind of a bit gimmicky. But yeah, this is the first time where they just totally faked us out, and only time. So, well, it's never too late to start. So, or to go the wrong way, apparently. You know, I raid a lot more casual. Oh my god, I'm sorry if you can hear this. It's just started pouring down with rain again here. So hopefully you can hear me alright. But yeah, I raid a lot more casually now, and I've actually got several people in my static, and this is their first tier, like, raiding. They maybe, if they got bored, tried a few pub groups before, but this is the first time they've been in a real raid group. There's also when there's 7 people running around trying to get on these, really, really fun to try and jump and then hit the pad going the other way. How is that? I want to try it, but I don't have a Switch. It's definitely up there at the moment. Yeah, I'm in Western Australia, so although it's technically winter right now, you might as well just call it the rainy season for us. No, it's not. It's not this one. I've got to run around to the other one, I think. It's been a while. And play all through. But I want my PS4 trophies for them as well. If only they could interact. Yeah, you got it right. But yeah, I do want to be able to say that I have played through every Final Fantasy. They've kind of redone some in other places, like I want to say 4 that they did on Nintendo DS. So it's sometimes just trying to find the platform they're on. I have finished... I've finished a couple now, actually. I quite literally used to be able to say that 9 was the only one that I completed, and that was by accident. I am a terrible, terrible completionist. And so I'll get sidetracked by all the little side quests and things at the end, and then something else with life will come along, and so I'll put the game down, and then it will be 6 months later, and I'll pick it up and I'll start from the start again. Because that I'm just weird that way, apparently. And yeah, so I never end up actually completing them, and normally I'm literally sitting there before the last boss. Now, what have we got on here for our take off undersize? Regular duties. What roulettes do we have? Daily challenges. Okay, it's the same kind of thing. I actually need them all. I'll hop onto Red Mage because that's what I'm leveling at the moment. So yeah, I think they probably got to a stage and it was just, you know, less work to do the newer ones. Which is a shame. I did have them all on like PS2 discs for a good while. I'm running off to... Yeah, I got maybe a quarter of a way through Ni no Kuni, and then I was like, I've got to Pokemon it and catch them all. But then I over-leveled everything, so then they all ran away from me, and just got really, really frustrating trying to catch everything when they would just flee from the mere sight of you. Oh. 26 minutes? That seems like forever. Withdraw. What else have we got? Trials is always fun. Clear. I have a friend who absolutely loves 12. Who would probably get really sad at you saying that. But it's always a controversial topic, isn't it? What's your favourite Final Fantasy? Nope. 69's a little bit out of my price range. Or level range, even. I don't know. I think that's why I do like MMOs so much, is I can run around and do all the little completionist things if I get bored of like raiding or stuff like that. Recently I've been on the Chocobo leveling / racing binge, and I've actually just got my perfect rank 9 Chocobos with all the stars. Yay! So they're quite a good way to farm MGP actually, especially all the challenges. It's like 450k all up just from doing those. So if you're trying to farm for like your Fenrir mounts and such. Congrats. I'm on level 100. And I just can't do it. Did you, like, max out all your characters? Tell me your secrets. Yeah, because I'm literally thinking, do I have to exit out of this? Go and, like, level up my characters until I hit max level, try and farm that invisible bow, which, well, farming an invisible bow from an invisible chest, I think that just about says it all right there. So, I actually kind of thought this was going to spring by now. I would just cruise over, see if I could find any random hunt mobs. Not the hunt pages. Yeah, you know how you did the climb up to the tower thing? It's there for an achievement, but it's not actually part of the game per se, the trials. I've totally thrown you now, haven't I? Ah, where's my Vicua? But yeah, it's the... I want to say it's the one against all the judge. Been so often, been so long now that I actually can't even remember what it is. Yeah. Wait, no. It's the thing where you actually have to kind of load from outside the game. That is Ridriana? Ridriana? Yeah, it's been a while. Ooh, goddess. I was like, yes, and then I'm like, no, that's the thing you climb, and it's the thing in here, and damn all these crossovers. Yeah, I'm literally on 100. And I just can't beat it. What? I was nowhere near her. What are you talking about? should probably use Embolden. I never did this when it first came out. So I always get confused because it's kind of a weird order. Like, I think doing them in number order, but I think you're actually not supposed to. Yeah, I think they were. Yeah, the other one I found hard was the one where you have all the pirates. There we go. There goes half the party. Go that way. There's our other healer. Where's my raise? There it is. Oh, which I don't have at this level. Awesome. Yeah, I thought I had most of them, but it just... I'm not sure. I might have to Google and or just have another go at it. Oh, okay, that's a bit wider than I thought it was. So glad I don't have my pass open to see how badly I'm actually doing on this. I remember rightly, this one you can actually cheat, as long as you stand like pretty much in the middle you can't actually get knocked off the edge. Whee! I'm not sure which healer it was, but one of them managed to restore everyone up. Yeah, I know you've got to really do them in a specific order, and it's like, do this here and do that there. I think the hardest thing is trying to actually, like, place your characters, because for some of it, like, you need one character at one end of the arena and one character at the other end, and you're like, but they all follow me around. How does this even work? Ah. Yeah, because again, I did the accidental finish thing. Not realizing that going to that particular place that you go to where that person is, intentionally vague to avoid spoilers, was actually the end of the game. So I did that and completed it, and then was like, oops, I'll go back to an earlier save. So... And then I was like, oh, do I have to actually... Because I didn't, like, Google or anything before I assigned jobs, I didn't know if I had to, like, make sure people were on, like, tier 1 type job combinations. Because I've still got to finish, like, hunts and things as well. Even though you actually get the achievement for killing certain ones that are hunt mobs when you do them in the 100 level climb, I found out. Which is kind of... because some of them are a bit easier. Yeah. Okay. Just run through and do all of these because why not? Yeah. I did farm a Zodiac Spear. I don't even know why. I was like, oh, I've just got to run down this staircase and zone back and forth, and that seems easy. And probably like an hour and a half later, and I still don't know why I did it. Because it's not the be-all end-all weapon it is now, and it used to be anyway. I'm sure there were some mobs around here. Yeah, whatever you do, don't open this chest. Like, just kidding, it's not actually any good. Yeah. Like, if you did it right, there was that group of, like, 12 chests at the end or something. And it was in one of them. Okay, I knew I'd seen some random ones around here somewhere. I think that's it there. Yeah. Yeah, I used to have my stockpile of my every Final Fantasy through, and then all my like braid guides. And I'm so sad that I had to get rid of them all. I'm trying to think. It was a while ago now that I was playing. Like months. I've done the majority of them, but like the big dragons and stuff I haven't done yet. I know there's one, like he's the light dragon or sun dragon or something. That. Uh-oh, somebody's not loading in. No, then I actually haven't. No. Somebody has DC'd while loading. Yep, there they are. Never mind. My okay. I don't get anything at this level, quite obviously. That is crazy. Yeah, I remember them doing that, and then they put Absolute Virtue. Not Absolute Virtue, Pandemonium Warden in Final Fantasy XI. And to put a fight in an MMO that takes like 12 to 18 hours. Yeah, that didn't go down well. That's like the real sort of online. Is you could just never leave because you could never beat the boss, so you're stuck in your chair forever. I didn't, but I was still playing when it came out, and the whole controversy over it. The thing is that they took it totally out of context. As everyone was like, oh, they were playing until they got sick. And no, actually, they didn't. What they said was like they wiped or something somewhere. And they had to go right back to the start. And they said that they'd, effectively wasted all that time, made them feel sick, as if, you're like, oh my god, we've got to do that right from the start again now. You know, and there's all these places like, you know, they were being physically ill and throwing up in their chairs because they were sitting there for so long. You know, they had a huge amount of people, and they were doing it in like teams, basically, in shifts. But yeah, it was definitely cool. I did have scatter. I thought I had AoE. Gotta get all those 200 EXPs. I don't think I've done... I did quite well, actually. My commendation thingies yet either, so... Yeah, I mean, it was such a grind, but at the same time, everyone's really nostalgic about it. I don't actually need any more of these guys, I can just run away. A Vermilion Vendetta. We can go flag our class quest while we wait for our next one. That was why I was so excited when I heard about 14 being launched. Oh, changing to thief to try and make it spike flail, getting all your tanks to. I actually ended up changing servers with a bunch of friends at some point because they wanted to go somewhere where there wasn't a caster spot, which was one of the like $5,000 bots. It's because she is no one. I am Arya Stark. Just send her to go murder somebody and she'll get her memory back. Yeah. Yeah, I did a few on Red Mage. I remember because I was living in the UK then, and my phone started ringing at 3 AM, and I'm like, 3 AM? Who the hell's calling me? And it was one of my really good friends. He's like, Cerberus was up, we've claimed him, there's only like 2 of us here, get online, because I was a Red Mage. And so I got on at like 3 o'clock in the morning, because our tank was there, who was just like kiting it around, and held it until we got a few more people around and eventually killed it. Like, it's awesome. That was when they had like the Moogle buff things. I remember like another time getting Behemoth, and my friend who was tank had like red legs, so that gave him movement speed. And then the thing where if you healed, you know, you sat there and slash knelt to get your HP back like you did in 11, you'd get movement speed on top of that. And this person was like, "You're speed hacking, I'm gonna report you." It's like, I'm not. So apparently we're saving some girl who has amnesia. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a while, and I don't exactly remember the Red Mage story quest. Oops. Ah well. Oh yeah, she's evil. She's trying to be all nice, she's got to turn out to be evil. And stuck in a crate. Stuck in a crate? That vaguely rings a bell. Oh, we rescued a girl out of a crate with no memory, fair enough. I had such a lovely sleep, the awful tiredness has left me, but I can't seem to remember anything. It's because you're an evil, vicious psycho killer, at least I've decided you are. Outside? Well, yes, I suppose a fresh breeze might help blow away the cobwebs. I think I'd like to see the view from the battlements. Will you join me up there, Kira? Will you change your dress? It's kind of really hard. I used to like doing, oh nice. So what servers are you on? That was my favourite fight of all time, actually. I got Scholar up to 70, and then I was like, oh, I need to do all the summon quests. And so I actually only had like the level 60 gear out of the chest when I did the final level 70 instant fight on Summoner. And oh my god, it made it the most epic battle ever. That's the best advice I can give anyone, is just go in that level 60 gear. Aww. There is... I think there's a Twitch Kittens FC on Genova, I want to say it's on. What's this if I open my Discord and do a scroll? Which means there should definitely be people who Twitch from there. They've got a Crossworld LS on Aether. So, yeah, there'll definitely be some streamers on there. I couldn't tell you who they were exactly. Yeah, it is. There's a Twitch Kittens FC on Genova. Oh, well, that could be why you're on there. Do they play much? We'll make you new memories together. Oh my god, I'm such a cheesy romantic. I had an uncle, many people do. Yeah, some of my my friends who I play with on here are thinking of getting it when it all comes out on PC. To be fair, that is a pretty mega ship. Patch 4.4 isn't too far away. There's also going to be the Monster Hunter World crossover soon. So you can kill Monster Hunter monsters in instances. I think Rathalos? I haven't actually played it. There's like a bunch of different names, but I think it's Rathalos you fight. That is why sometimes I go and do stuff which isn't related at all. Like I said, I've been doing all the chocobo racing lately, so and I actually sit there when I'm really lazy because I've got this on my PS4 as well, which is in my bedroom. So I'll be like, kind of feel like, you know, winding down and going to bed soon. I'll go race my chocobo for an hour. Or like I had a couple of days where I wasn't feeling well and I stayed in bed and I just raced chocobos all day. Because I'm like, stuff like that's really easy to do on the PS4. Well, she remembers some of it. Ooh, cutscene. From what I can recall, I had always lived with my uncle. He was a kind, gentle man who would often tell me stories of my parents. Aww. I was young when they died. Too young to remember them, I think. Do you know it's funny how when I do girls' voices, I raise the pitch of my voice? Yeah. See, I can't live without internet and my gaming consoles. But I don't have cable TV or anything because I just don't watch it because I'm always gaming. You know, I have Netflix for if I kind of want to watch stuff, but that's why I was like, you know, my TV used to be kind of out in the living room area, and I was like, nah, sod it, I'm just going to take it into my room with my PS4 because, you know, I can chill out there. There's no point in leaving it out here for the aerial because I don't sit and watch, you know, The Bachelor or whatever. The report mentioned you were citizens of Limpsa. Do you remember where you were when the attack came? Man, I want that Red Mage outfit. I think that's why, if nothing else, because I was Red Mage in 11 and I'm like, I want my Red Mage hat again. Yeah, like, absolutely. So you might as well have it where you can, you know, chill out and do stuff, because you just don't. Yeah. I need to watch more streamers and get an idea of things. I'm at the point where I really need to start working on my brand if I'm going to get anywhere. Insert appropriate meme. Yes, we're on the road to somewhere. We're on a road to somewhere. The ambushes appeared as if from thin air, and my uncle stepped forward to shield him. They killed him. And I'm sorry, I just have to say, this thing on this dress annoys me. Like, the dress without the ruffle would be great. The dress with the ruffle, if it was on her shoulders, or off the shoulders, so you could see her shoulders, would be okay. Because there'd, like, be a point to it, because it'd be, well, in our day and time it'd be elasticated. It just looks like it's a Victorian ruffle which has fallen down because it's too loose. So it should be around her neck, one of those big collar things. Yeah. I've actually been thinking about potentially changing my name, if I'm honest. Like, Deviant Sock Puppet is an evolution from a joke when I was about 17. I'm most definitely not 17 anymore. And so, because it's just, I've been using it for everything, when I made a Twitch account a bajillion years ago, I made it Deviant Sock Puppet. You know, and I had a couple of people in chat, and they're like, what do I call you? You know, like, people see your name, and they're like, hey, Rob, how you doing? How's things? And people are like, do I call you Sock Puppet? Do I call you Puppet? Do I call you... How do I even say the start of your name there? DV... You know. And yeah, if you sound it out, it's Deviant. So I've been thinking that, you know, I should probably change it to something that's more... Approachable's not really the right word, but you know what I mean. Oh... You rob dragons and therefore you are their bane? Do you have Nidhogg's eye? Did you steal it? Was it you? We're here making jokes and she's telling the tragic tale of her uncle dying in cutscene. Oops. .0 days. I never paid much to Dragoon back then, so I have to do with that, no. Unless it was an old Ishgardian NPC who was kind of around somewhere. Isles of Umbra, the Master Calls. No, I failed the Final Fantasy trivia test. I'm deeply, deeply ashamed. How can I ever repay you? Oh god, yes, Vara. Yeah. Because it was good like one of the best fates for HP before everyone figured out North Thanalan. Oh, these are... trying to clear out all my little lobby quests as well, if I ever come across them. Oh, I actually know when new ones are about. But yeah, I do definitely remember Svara. Damn, that sucks getting your account hacked, man. I'm sorry. There cannot be anything worse. But yeah, Skull is fun. You learn a lot about Tomberries. Summoner, I think, well, as much as I said about the end fight, I think in general it's got the coolest instance fights from like level 1. But yeah, I can't stress anything as much as I can saying going to that fight with your level 60 gear. Dark Helmet. Oh, that's awful. Oh, I would cry. I would. And it's kind of, I mean, it's terrible in any game, but I think it's worse in Final Fantasy because you invest so much in one character. You know, like I said, you go and play WoW, and you might have 5 different characters for your different jobs, you know, but you're playing one character all the time, you know. Everyone you know in game refers to you by that name. That is you. You know, that is your persona. I know, like I said, I've got a really, really good friend of mine who I've known from my Final Fantasy XI days. I've known him the better part of like 10 years now, which is kind of scary. And, you know, he says I'm like a sister to him. We talk all the time, even though he doesn't play anymore at the moment. And yet he still calls me Callie. Knows my real name, has known my real name for years. But I was Calico with a K in 11. So he still calls me Callie. You know, and you get really, really invested in a way that I don't think you do when you have to play multiple characters. Yeah, I mean, like 2.0 days, everyone would just come around and be like, "Oh my god, man, you're in BG! Like, Yoshi P shouted you out, that was so cool." Then they did it every patch afterwards as well. But, you know, because it was the first one and he actually did it live in a con rather than just in like a letter or something, everyone was like, "Man, that's such a big deal, you guys are awesome." I'll just be doing random things. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're in PG. I've seen your name and stuff." Now I'm a casual. There's nothing wrong with that, so long as your hands are perpetually hidden. She's a black mage, she must be evil. This guy's evil. like, oh, you're scared of ghosts? Like that giant thing behind you? And she's like screaming. Yeah, I've been a Makote since 11. It was funny, after about 3 years, I made an alt and I tried to make like a Hume. And I was just like, it just feels wrong. I don't have a tail. Like I'm just used to seeing my butt swish back and forth. So, seems like the dumbest thing in the world, but just my brain was so ingrained and so used to seeing it, it just didn't look right without it. Yeah. I was so happy when they put in the little Mithra minions. Yeah, I did. Rolled it as a monk as well. What was I thinking? Quick, let's go find the boss. I've got double procs. Yeah. Sorry, they're all black mages and she's a black mage. It can't be a coincidence. Crazy evil girl. Took me ages to break the habit. Because they don't want to hurt their master, who's the girl. I'm completely making this up. She's probably just an innocent little flower, but I think she's a little too innocent. Oops. Or okay, maybe they're doing some crazy secret ritual. That could be it too. God, I don't know. Oh god, it's Doom Train! So I found it by accident. I don't know if you've done the normal version of this latest raid tier. Because like I said, they do have Doom Train. Did I miss? Did that not proc? But yeah, you can sometimes... There's a part where you... Yep, exactly. There's a part where you go into like train compartments with ghosts, and you can actually, instead of a normal ghost, there is a PC ghost, an NPC ghost, who can show up instead. What was his name? It's to do with the actual... You know, original Doom Train, obviously. But yeah, you just have a random chance of getting this other ghost guy instead. Starting to feel like I should heal him. Maybe later. Maybe not. That was pathetic. Yeah, it's like some dude in armor. I saw him once and I was like, who the heck is this? I'm so rubbish with names in general, you'll have to forgive me. I just thought as you're quite familiar with the Final Fantasy series, you may know who I'm talking about. Wait, the girl who's deathly afraid is going to split up and go looking around? Cyan sounds familiar. FFXIV Doom Train Ghost Character. Oh, that's actually talking about the Final Fantasy VI one. Aha. Siegfried. I am Siegfried, the greatest swordsman in the world. Whoever Siegfried was. How are you doing today, yeah? But I'm just so tasty. Oh, he's an anti-red mage. But yeah, so you've got a chance if you go in and do Sigma normal, that you won't fight a normal ghost, it'll just randomly be Siegfried. My mortal frame brims with vital energies. Why, thank you, I work out. An irresistible feast. Nice. So is it just me, or is this guy wearing a toupee? Because it looks like he's got his hair, and then it's like he's got another layer of hair on top pushed forward, which looks kind of fake. What are we thinking? Maybe? Comb front. Bad hair day, that's for sure. Of course I'm unharmed. Yeah, but see, he's definitely got the better hair. We were allies once. Doesn't look so good on girls. Or Makote. The valiant Crimson Duelist. Such fond memories. I relished their slaughter. It is. It's like somebody's just accidentally put a mop on top of his head. It's just like... The duelists live on through me. Oh, look, he's so sad his mascara's running. It's okay, dude. Don't cry. Not for long, my old friend. Has he got a bayonet on the end of his sword? That's just... excessive. He does. It's totally fair to go 3-on-1 so long as the one is a bad guy. Gods damn you! You knew that, man? I was so convinced she was going to be evil. Yes, yes, we'll speak of it later. First, I would know where you learned to cast spells like that. Well, she's got a big old black mage staff on her back. I don't remember anyone teaching me, it just sort of happened. Just sort of happened? I expected you to club things with that old scepter, not fling balls of fire. Hello, it's a delicate piece of machinery, the astrolabe. Man. It was so awesome when it came out. And such a pain in the arse trying to actually HQ those things for the 1.0 relics. I had a friend actually paid like 40 mil for the Sangha in 1.0, and then it was like 5 gil in 2.0. Sad days. I wanted to read that, kitty. He's like, no, play faster. Just comes along, headbutts my hand holding the mouse so that I press the button. No, see, I'm wise to your tricks now. As was apparent through our unpleasant exchange, I have a history with this master of the assassins. His name is Lambard. It did have good music. Oh man, I remember being in an FC just to do leaves to grind up. Like, making 4-man parties because that was the most efficient, like, multiplier, because it depended how many people were in your party and the level difference and everything else. We had that down to a science. And then Surplus made it irrelevant because you'd have 8 different jobs in Surplus. 20 years ago, he and I were part of the group who founded the Crimson Duelists, when apparently the other guy was like 5. Because he looked pretty darn young. Well, from the way he was talking about age, he's kind of like, I don't know, eating souls or whatever to keep him young. He and I were part of the group who founded the Crimson Duelists. We studied the faded teachings passed through generations of Gira Barnins, and revived the art of red magic as a weapon against tyranny. But one day, Lambard simply vanished. He murdered my unsuspecting comrades and vanished into the shadows. I returned from scouting alone to discover the aftermath of a massacre. Do you ever get a before math of a massacre? It was later that I learned his treachery had been paid for with imperial coin, but never could I find what became of the man himself. After 20 years of fruitless searching, I thought him dead. This has now become a matter of vengeance. I mean to pursue Lambard and exact a price for his betrayal. But I would not ask you to join me in this vendetta, but I'm going to because I want your groovy outfit. Worry not, Kira. Your grasp of red magic will allow you to grow without the need for a teacher. Well, he's kind of convinced he's going to die, apparently, too. As for yourself, Arya, I will arrange a suitable sanctuary. Because in the history of the world, I'm sure there have been very many despotic elephants. I mean, they say the lion's the king of the jungle. But behind every puppet lion is a tyrannical elephant. I honestly have no idea. Is there a tyrannical elephant in Monster Hunter or something? I don't think there's any in Magic. I've been playing Magic a lot recently. That reminds me, do any of you guys play Magic? I still have a bunch of Magic beta keys. They had a stress test today, so everyone who has a Magic the Gathering Arena beta account got sent 5 extra keys. And a friend of mine gave me his keys as well, so... If there's anybody in the chat who fancies playing trading card games and would perhaps like to get in on that. P.S. if you're a fan and live in the US or Canada, they also have a content creator program at the moment. Yeah, I only started about 3 months ago. I had friends who played quite a bit, but they're all like friends I met through this, so most of them were Americans. And wow, you can throw a fireball, so do it with a rapier and now you're a red mage instead. Yeah, so then I found out that they were doing the beta and that it's all free to play, and jumped in because I was like, well, if I want to learn at the moment, I'm going to have to go to like a game store and buy a deck because like I don't have anyone to borrow things from, and it's like really expensive to get into paper Magic. I haven't, no. This one is supposed to be true to paper Magic, because apparently like all the Duels of the Planeswalkers and stuff wasn't. Wow, I didn't realise I was actually so far behind on Red Mage Quest. No, this is properly true to Magic. It's got every set out that's in standard at the moment. And on the 12th they released like the core set, which has just come out as well. That's why some people are like, oh, is it going to be replacing MTG Go? Because it's, you know, a true version of Magic, but just with a graphical UI a la Hearthstone and the like. But they've said no, at least for now, because obviously MTG Go you've got to still purchase the cards, whereas this you get the cards for free. I think it's a lot easier than learning on paper, because, you know, a lot of the auto tap things, you know, or you've got the option to draw a card, which you can just forget about in Paper Magic, and if you do, well, too bad. You know, it does it, and it does a lot of the maths and such for you. And sometimes even combos and interactions that you didn't actually realise were going to happen, which you probably wouldn't know about and wouldn't trigger if you were doing it learning Paper Magic. Real sounds familiar. Who are you? Yeah, they have added kind of a basic tutorial now to try and get the hang of it, which gives you core sets. Yeah, like you do have the whole hit the pack thing and like click on the card to turn it round, which is kind of exciting in its own way, but you're right, nothing beats actually physically having it in your hand and going, oh my god, what's the next card? What's the next card? Yeah. They do. I'm not going to try and read Pirate. You listened into stuff and thought that the guy was getting orders from Imperials in Castra Meridianum. Was the upshot of that. But it's hard enough to understand reading it yourself half the time. How they try and do the whole pirate, old, you know, sea dog kind of accent. Wow. Wow. That afro deserves a clap. Even though she kind of now reminds me of Saz from 13. I think it's because of the gold yellow jacket as well. Need to storm Castra Meridianum. That was a girl. Let's discuss the objective. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a femme row, a female Rogadin. I'm gonna have to go back and check in a minute. But I'm pretty sure only girls have the bandages around the chest area on that top. And locate documentation on Lambert's next target. Poor choice of words, perhaps. One of us will provide a diversion while the other two slip inside and rifle through desks until we find what we're looking for. No, it is not. It is American. Although I was in the UK when I started playing 14 and I'm now back in Australia, I have always ended up playing MMOs with Americans. I paid for it in latency, unfortunately, even with running a VPN. Which is kind of why I thought that Red Mage might not be an awful DPS. I used to like playing Bard, but I literally can't double weave OGCDs over here. I could in England, probably because it wasn't so far, but also because I live on the west coast of Australia and everything outbound goes through Sydney. So I'm literally like having to send my internet signal from the equivalent of Los Angeles to New York before it even starts going to the servers. So, which is why I main healer anyway. But yeah, if I was DPS, I definitely couldn't be top tier DPS anymore. And even so, that's probably why I will never do anything more than mid-core raiding again, because I just don't have the ping for it. Right, yes, seeing our friend. No, it's definitely a Femro. With a little... But yeah, she is tall. I am definitely one of the shortest possible Makote models. Well, it's on a slider, so I'm pretty sure I'm on the very bottom of that. She looks like she's pretty much on the top end of a row. So yeah, there's a good... She's half again as tall as I am. The EU data center, I believe, is Chaos. Which, if I'm honest, I'm mostly basing on the fact that Azavar is on Chaos. Who, if you haven't seen him yet, I think is a hilarious streamer from Twitch Kittens. He has a lot of fun with like overlays and stuff on his stream decks. And it's just a genuinely lovely chill guy. But yes, that is definitely a Foxy Cleopatra coming at ya. That was nice timing of the arms folded. She's like, yeah. Yeah, the height differences are quite extreme in some cases. I know somebody who redid their character as a female Highlander, and now every time I like look at him, if I stand too close and move my head, I'm basically motorboating him, his character model. Maybe I should just make my Makote a bit taller. Oh, I remember the push in this tiny little thing. Yeah. The worst thing used to be in 1.0. And this is a little bit lewd. I found it disturbing. I would start crafting. Which is obviously an animation where you go down on one knee and you're cooking and things. And people would come up on Lullafels and sit down in front of you. So it looked like they were performing lewd acts on you. And I would just have people who I'd never met before, who were just on Lullafels, because everyone used to hang out in Older, and they would just come up and do that and then just, like, go AFK, and it would just freak me out. So, thankfully that doesn't happen quite so much anymore. You're a black mage, you can throw fireballs, just, you know. Must be something in the blood? What? She's not a... Alisai's an Elezen. But I must say, in general, a lot of the movement mechanics are quite cool. Like some of the dances. And that's a perpetual one. Do have some very nice, smooth actions that they've put in for animations for things. And if you ever get a chance to see a Lullafell doze, which they do with sound effects is so cute, especially when they're sitting down. Any doze emote is cute. I have to show you now, don't I? See the eyelids go. They're adorable. But Lullafells actually fall completely over and then, like, flail about kicking their legs in the air. It's the best emote in the entire game. Right. We were... A lot of them have little sound effects as well. Like, you get the no, and my characters are like, It's red magic, baby. That's what magic this is. Oh, you stunned me. That's a 9, that's a 6. Was 9 conscious? Oh, well. That was actually okay, as that was a... AoE as well. I use a Razor Naga to play, so I have the 1 through 12 buttons laid out on my side of my mouse there, which I hit with my thumb. Unfortunately, I have very small midget hands, which is one of the reasons why I love using the Naga, because stretching across the keyboard is kind of quite hard for me, and I actually get hand cramps if I do it a lot, which is why I played for a controller for a while. So I'm really bad half the time at actually using 7 through 9, and 9 through 12 is still a bit of a stretch. It took me a while. like I said, I swapped using controller in 11 days and was using controller all the way through 1.0, 2.0 and beyond, and it was... When did Legion come out? Was Legion after Heaven's Ward? I think so. But yeah, just literally started playing WoW, and I was like, right, well, I can't use a controller, for one. So I have to. And kind of, I think if you do it on that, or if you are playing it in 14 rather, if you start it on a new job, because you've only got a few buttons to press then, you know, and you can sort out like having your basic combo, which is just 1, 2, 3, and get used to just using one line, because it is kind of just muscle memory of the location, even though they are kind of shaped a bit, like the middle row is raised a bit from the others, so you can kind of tell what's middle and what's not. But it is literally just muscle memory, so I would start on a little basic job that you're just running around, you know, murdering sheep. Because, let's face it, if you play this game, murdering sheep has got to be one of your favourite pastimes. Again, has been one of mine since 1.0, just for the little me, which I cannot do justice. But yeah, once you have changed, it's a lot easier. Oh, she was a black mage. Kind of forced her to be a jack of all trades when she was happy just to be a glass cannon. Uncovered documents. Oh, Kitty's coming to say hello. If you just heard that. The Cabal's assassins spirit away youths with arcane aptitude, much like our Arya here, and deliver them to Lambard for branding. Once the cursed sigil has destroyed their wills, he fills their empty minds with lethal thaumaturgy and conditions them to follow his every command. Lethal, oh, as in, yeah, he teaches them how to kill people with black mage spells. Why does he do that if he's a red mage? It seems, however, that the formation of the Cabal itself was a relatively recent development. Lambard received imperial orders to organise his puppets into a expendable force, a fearless, unswervingly loyal cult of assassins that could strike against resistance supporters in lands beyond the Empire's reach. The plan, as well as Lambert's involvement, was proposed by the Crown Prince himself. Excuse me, Kitty, that is my keyboard that you can't stand on. As the champion who brought Xenos to justice, I am sure you are familiar with the man's reputation for cold brutality. About that. Let's not go into that too much because spoilers. Aside from his mastery of red magic, Lambard is well versed in ancient spells and rituals. Doubtless this knowledge, coupled with his singular lack of moral character, did much to curry the favour of a monster such as Xena. One day I wish that I could just describe somebody with a lack of moral character. Or maybe not. And now we come to the Cabal's next assignment. I could scarce believe my own eyes, even as I read the details of the operation. They want to kill me. Lambert's next target is the Garland Ironworks, the company of engineers founded by the great Sid Garland. Wow. Taking out Sid. As a sanctuary for Imperial defectors, the Ironworks has long drawn the ire of the Empire. If it wasn't reason enough, the company has also begun sharing engineering secrets with the Alamegan Resistance. To my knowledge, this will be the highest profile enemy the Cabal has ever been deployed against. But the operation will not target Sid himself. They have a far more effective method in mind. Yeah, I was going to say Sid was kind of important, so, you know, might get some backlash if you kill him. The plan is to assassinate Garland's senior staff, and the name at the top of the list was Jessie. Not Jessie! She was the one who sorted out the Garland Ironworks gear for Alpha. Must protect her at all costs. She thought of actually dressing up a chocobo. That brain must be protected. Sid's ideas cannot be brought to fruition without... I just pressed the button. We must save Jessie. Yeah. I've communicated the details of the planned assassination to the Ironworks. Unlike Master Wilkins' case, however, Lambert has been ordered to succeed at any cost. He will keep sending his killers until the deed is done, or we put a stop to his cabal for good. And that means bringing down Lambert himself. Kira, Arya, I'll need your aid. Sharpen your swords and ready your spells, for we are going to war. And she's like, yeah! What? Should not be that excited. I have gotten a little bit sidetracked with these. I didn't realise I was quite so far behind. Modification. Alright, I remember that button. So if anybody who is watching is on the Primal data center, one, welcome to the stream. I am Deviant Sock Puppet, as you may have guessed. And if you would like to do anything, or if you'd even like to see any kind of particular content, just drop a message in the stream, and we will see if we can oblige. Lambert will be preparing to move on the Garland Ironworks. So... I was gonna say, where actually are they headquartered at the moment? Because I thought it was Ralgar's Reach, but we're actually kind of a bit behind the storyline at the moment. According to the plans we viewed, they know that Jessie is scheduled to accompany a delivery to the Alamegan Resistance. The ambush itself will be sprung on the outskirts of Revenant's Toll as she makes her way to a waiting airship. Should be a simple matter for us to lie in wait in Mordona and take the ambushes and Lambert by surprise. Our success will, of course, hinge upon Jessie's cooperation, and I've arranged to meet her to hammer out the finer details. Pray travel ahead to Rowena's Toll. It's totally Rowena's Toll. To Revenant's Toll, and we will find you on the terrace above Rowena's House of Splendors. I like Rowena's Toll much better as a name. And knowing Jessie, she will just want to hit them over a head with a hammer herself. If you hear a rather odd noise in the background, it's actually my cat incredibly noisily licking my hand. I think he's trying to tenderize me to eat me in the near future. I'm a little scared. There we go. It's going away. Should not have that cluttering up the mic now. I am hoping to, in the near future, getting a webcam. The one I'm looking at does have microphones, and I'm actually kind of hoping that it might work a little bit better than the one that I have on my headset mic at the moment. We'll just have to wait and see on that. But it would be nice, because then you wouldn't have to put up with quite so much odd noise or me battering it anytime I go to adjust my glasses. I'm sorry, were you looking for me? I just felt more comfortable waiting in the corner. Maybe she is still evil. I don't know. Just... Ah, but have you seen Face Rig? Like, being a girl on the internet, I was a little bit worried about the idea in cams in general. Being a person who's a little bit thin-skinned, I'm not gonna lie, I can be a bit sensitive about things. One of the side effects from suffering from depression, and that is that you can take things rather personally at times. I was really put off the idea of having a camera, a webcam. Face Rig is a software that maps to your face and lets you apply a character model over the top. It is actually available through Steam. They might be able to tell you a more in-depth description, but they have a choice of 2 and 3D models that you can basically use as avatars, but unlike just having a static image, it moves with you, helps react, you can customize it and such. And yeah, it just looks like a bit of fun as well. Like I said, I do play Magic. There's a Gorgon on there who's awfully like a planeswalker, so you know, you can kind of do things to get into character a bit more. If you want to as well, have a bit of a fun thing. They've got, you know, things for like holidays as well. So yeah, if you're a little bit shy, like I am to be honest, or just a little bit nervous of, you know, hopping on your cam, it's a way to try it out, but still, it's streaming with a paper bag over your head, only the paper bag's kind of pretty. So, you know, thought try it out. Oh, Zerun and Jessie are here. I wonder, X-Run? Zerun? I never actually know how to pronounce a lot of the Makote names. But yeah, check it out. It looks like a lot of fun. If you know how to do things with Photoshop, or if you're one of those incredibly talented people who actually know how to 3D model, you can actually make your own avatars. I had a look, there's tutorials on YouTube. There was a guy who literally, just from taking still captures from an episode of an anime, made a working avatar of that character, and that was just so it could, like, rather than being static, he took different pictures, so he had ones with like the eyes open and closed, so he could actually, yeah. Exactly, Rob, it can. And I thought, you know what, add that, and add, you know, the fact that, like I said, being a girl, I was kind of anxious, you know, it's either, oh my god, you look so rough, why don't you actually wear some makeup, you know, oh my god, you've got pancake face, why don't you look natural, you're showing too much skin, you're showing not enough skin, you're too skinny, you're too fat, you're too... etc. I just thought, you know what, I wasn't going to bother. And then I heard about Face Rig and I thought, it's probably pretty naff. And then I actually saw it and I was like, dude, it looks like Raccoon out of Guardians of the Galaxy. And like I said, checked it out on Steam. You can see some of the avatars that are on there. And I'm like, I want to try this just for fun. But anyway, back to saving Jessie. Right, I've heard all about this big plan to murder me. Like I said, she's a good old no-nonsense girl. I'm surprised no one's tried it before, considering how the company starts to fall apart the very instant I leave the room. I love Jessie. Anyway, I understand that you and Miss Hime, that would be my character, Kirihime, nice to meet you. here are in charge of keeping me alive while I make my merry way to the airship. Is that correct? Pretty much. In a nutshell. Lambard's been instructed to bring his entire cabal to bear on this operation. As long as they've no hint that we're onto their plan, then we stand a chance of wiping out the lot of them. I only wish we could manage it without exposing you to danger. I speed read, sorry, so sometimes when I stumble over words, it's because I'm reading faster than I'm speaking. So I apologise. I have to try and think about actually slowing down how fast I read, rather than trying to speed up my speaking to catch up to how fast I'm reading. Maybe we could, if I pretended to be Jessie. Head swivels. Dress you up as the deputy president? That's actually a rather clever idea. I'm waiting for Jessie to go, nah man, she'd never make a good me. Let's get the girl a costume then. I'm not afraid to act as bait, but when push comes to shove, I'll only be in your way. We'll need to do something about that hair. But yeah, I do have a lot of sympathy for you, Rob. I must admit, I actually find it a lot easier interacting with people like this rather than face to face. But yeah, good night. You have a very lovely sleep, and thanks for coming and joining. Oh, and thank you for the follow as well. I do very much appreciate it. I will have to check out when you're streaming and come and give you a look as well. So, take care, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. It's Jessie with a bleach job. There we go. From a distance, no one will be able to tell the difference. It's just... up close, you're a bit short. Can we stretch you out by a foot or so? Stretch me out? Put heels on her. I'm only pulling your leg, lass. That's a good idea. Stick her on the rack. I appreciate what you're doing for me. If you're ever in need of a favour, I'll be happy to pay you back in kind. I kind of have more faith in Jessie's hammer-whacking skills, to be honest. The Ironworks airship will soon arrive at the cliffside outside town. Arya will make for the vessel whilst pretending to be Jessie, and you, Kira, will act as her bodyguard. I thought the point was so that nobody knew we were there. We still have a little time until the airship is scheduled to depart. Make whatever preparations you need, and then meet me by the Aetherite. I'm good. I'm over-leveled. It's not like I need to go and get gear. Prove how hardcore I am by jumping off cliffs. Oh my god, read that, nearly choked. Jessie said I would be more convincing if I appeared on the verge of biting someone's nose off. I'm not sure if I even know what that means. Definitely one of the more entertaining characters. The time has come. The Ironworks airship makes ready to depart, and our battle with the traitorous Lambard first approaches. There is, however, one thing I've never been able to reconcile. Why did Lambard sell his soul to the Empire? Well, he sold his services. I think his soul's been sold somewhere else. He was the duelist's most brilliant scholar, and not the kind of man who would betray his homeland for vulgar coin. I was baffled when I heard the Empire had bought his loyalty. But no matter his reasons, the crime he committed was unforgivable, and we shall bring him to justice. Let us see the deed done, my friends. To the southeast gate! waste of time. I might just, before we go and save the day, I'm actually just going to take a little 5-minute break, jump up and down, grab a drink, etc. Feel free to do the same. So, drink, smoke, pee, etc. Turn on the heater like I'm going to do if it's as cold for you as it is for me right now. And I will be right back. I am back. That would be rather, well, it would be a talent to do all of that at the same time, I must admit. Right. She's supposed to be the bait, but basically she's just got the easy job. She just has to wander around and not beat anyone up. Oop. I mean, that was some battles, only 2 of them. I think she's just trying to suck up to me now. Okay. Definitely can't hit all of them. And they're not about to move for me. And the annoying thing about casters is it's really hard to group them up for AoEs. Just finished mopping up the flanking group. Considering this is quote unquote his entire cabal, there doesn't seem to be that many of them. I can't help but feel that kind of they're the bait for his trap. Hey, Mr. Gigas. I think I'm just gonna... Oh, it's actually a... Didn't have to take you out because it's an instance. Where is it? I mean, it should be kind of obvious that none of his guys have been checking in. He looks so upset about that, doesn't he? Aww. Or have I? He actually, like, just tripped over that little rise there and was trying to look cool. And hoped it looked like he'd launched and just landed. Your cabal is in ruins, Lambard, And this time you'll face the consequences of your crimes. But I have my dapper-dressed friends. But first, I must know, why did you turncoat for the Empire, after all we had achieved together? We had a bromance, dude. Did you break up with me? Ah, still the same simple action. The same tired idealism. Your point? How many lives did we save, you and I, and what did we truly accomplish? The ancient art of red magic is capable of so much more, like haste and refresh. A red mage restricts the source of his mana, but accelerates the effect of his spells via the medium of his own physical form. And what would befall such a mage who then attempted the same techniques whilst channeling the vast ethereal energies of nature? Boom. A fool's endeavour. The wielder would be consumed. Just so. And there we see the true potential of the art. Imagine the incredible powers we could unleash, were we not caged within these prisons of flesh. It was in the wisdom of the ancients that I discovered the means to transcend our limits. A method to transform one's vessel and command even grander magics. And all I had to do was be possessed by a demon. The price to be paid, however, was a costly one. Restructuring my body required years upon years spent in arcane slumber. About 20 of them, I guess. And was it worth it? To surrender that which makes you mortal? I freed myself from my chains. I now command energies greater than any found in the black or the white or the red. The Crimson Duelists were merely my first step towards greatness. Noble sacrifices for a greater cause. Needed the little gleam on his teeth there. You damnable fiend! So it seems. Did apparently make your hair turn red, though. I think everyone does secretly. My art is unfettered by weak-minded taboos. You cannot best me with your feeble red magics. That's right, we've got a black mage in disguise over here. Never once did I lose a duel to you. This day will be no different, because my hair is better. Alright everybody, it's a walk-off. Ta-da! You always were the better fighter. I've barely succeeded in giving you a scratch. Wait for the, nay, you have wounded me mortally, but I wanted to have my cool pose. But a single scratch is all I need. Dum dum dum. You see, as a consequence of my transformation, my strength lies not in harming your body, but in draining your spirit. Once I have wounded you, your life force belongs to me. Plot twist. Watch her suddenly master her white magics to heal him. Sarah, no. I'm saying his name differently every single time. Oh, and there is that rain again. Sorry. Hey, every James Bond villain did it too. Let me just see if I can turn up my mic a little. Hopefully I'm not going to burst out your eardrums. But just yet, the rain kind of comes in brief spurts, but it's just really, really loud. So if I get too loud or if you still can't hear me, just speak up. Well, well, you yet draw breath, but not for long. I shall send you to Thal's realm with the answer to your question, my reason for joining the Empire. They take over lots of people and let me kill them. My new form allows me to wield spells of a magnitude denied to ordinary mortals. But I must feed. If I fail to consume sufficient life energies, then I am afflicted with a terrible hunger. I can't hear me when it rains. My work as an assassin provides me with fresh prey and an ideal environment within which to pursue my research. I am eternally grateful to Xenos for his rare, generous understanding. You speak of achievements, but the constraints of red magic offered naught but frustration. And now, after 2 decades of futile resistance, is your struggle finally over? That came out more like a question. My friends, you must flee! Oh, hell no. You're just some quest NPC. I'm the Warrior of Light, dude. This is far from over. He has henchmen. Students of red magic, are you? Come then, show me how you resist the advent of your own destruction. Ooh, good use of the word advent. Even though I am awesome by definition, this being an MMO, and, you know, me being the main character in my own drama, but I bet the one who quote-unquote saves the day is gonna be Arya. No, but 3 years of reading we'll have. One go off so I can thank you. Why don't you heal yourself, kid? There you go. Damn you silly little rocks. No, really? If only I'd thought of that. Oh, he seems actually surprised. Dude, I told you. I'm the warrior of light. I'm freaking awesome. And technically you didn't sacrifice everything, just everyone in the general vicinity. My comrades, you are champions of the red. Zarin, you mustn't try to move. I'm not dead yet, lass. That was nice that you thought to avenge me. Yeah, you taught us the cure, why not use it yourself? What a miserable pair we make. The last of the Crimson Duelists, staining ground scarlet with our blood. And I cannot even claim this final vengeance as mine. The honour goes to my students. Ah, but there lies the difference between you and me, Lambard. Your puppets follow your commands without question, but they'll not carry on your legacy after you're gone. Is that what 20 years of struggle has taught you? I admit, the sense of justice with which you infect others has delivered you victory. On this day, at least. But I shall be back, once I've found new colour contacts and hair dye. But the fates are known for their spiteful twists of fortune. Take this Arya of yours. I told you she was evil. I'm fine. It was a trying battle is all. Will this be the injustice which breaks you? A pity I will miss. Your suffering. And now I die. Nobody who wore a dress with that many ruffles could be sane. Lambert knew something, and it seemed to amuse him. Are you truly alright? I feel much recovered, honestly. Should we return to Revenant's Toll, which I am now just going to forever call Rowena's Toll? She had no memory. She mysteriously knew how to cast black magic. Funnily, the same as everyone else that was made into a mindless little puppet. NPCs are really bad at connecting dots. It's still an effort to remain upright, but I believe I'll live. Seeing how you countered the technique which felled me was a proud moment indeed. You and Arya make a fine team. I expect the Deputy President will be along shortly. Dude, if she kills Jessie, I am going to just stab her in her little blonde head. You have my thanks. Had you not uncovered this plot, I would almost certainly be dead by now. It's quite a sobering thought. 'Tis Kira and Arya who deserve your gratitude. I was busy bleeding to death whilst the two of them vanquished the assassin's master. Is that so? Well then, feel free to send the bill for any expenses incurred on the operation to Sid. In that case, I'm sure I need a new glamour. Still not happy with this one. It's really hard trying to find things that go with Scorpion Harness. With Lambard's death, so too will his cabal of assassins cease to plague us. For much of my life, I have lived with failure, the loss of my homeland, my inability to help prevent the calamity. Oh, really? Really? Like, totally trying to steal my thunder there? Like, hello? We were all with the Scions and the massive summoning. Not you. Man, totally trying to take credit. But I chose to fight on in face of these defeats. It's taken blah 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 blah. Now you guys are here and everything's great. You have made this possible. Thank you, my students, my comrades, my mindless little black mage puppet that any second is going to stab me. Dun dun dun. Oh, I mean, yay, I got EXP. And a new ability. Whee! This concludes the Red Mage quest for Final Fantasy XIV Heaven's Ward. In order to undertake the next series of quests, you must have completed the main scenario quest, the Far Edge of Fate. Luckily, I have. Hey there, Than, how you doing? Thank you very much for the host this morning, by the way, while I was doing the stress test. I got through like 5 drafts. Wait, you gave her a cool little outfit and I still don't have one? Oh my god. Zarin has a proposal for your ongoing training. Kira, Arya, while there are lessons to be learned as I dragged you along on my quest for vengeance, 'tis time I offered a more structured approach to your training. Oh, really? With the support of you and your companions, Curtis's daughter has liberated Alamigo. But rather than return in this moment of glory, I feel I contribute more to the rebuilding of my homeland from without. Yeah, I've done pretty much most of that myself. It was 2 decades ago that I joined the revolutionaries. Though our motives were just, it was our actions that ultimately created a breach for the Empire to exploit. My time at the forefront of the stage has ended. To return to it now would only invite confusion and resentment. Yeah, they ended up extending it because the people were having a lot of login issues and stuff. And I must admit, I did my 5th draft, but I ended up falling asleep before I actually then got to play with it. But hey, got the 40 cards in a pack, so that's cool to see some of how the new set was playing. The revolution has since become the resistance, and the right to shape the future of Alamigo now rests in the hand of those who will live the coming age. No, I shall play my part by nurturing a new generation of red mages. I made my mark as a crimson duelist, but you will not be bound by my oath. You are free to decide for yourselves how to best employ the skills I teach you, mostly in doing raids for my own loot benefit, if I'm honest. Now, as for your studies, you are well aware of my proclivity for practical application. We must challenge you with a new frontier. Yeah, I did see that, which is quite awesome. Because that means, hey, it's a free draft then for 8th of Revolt. Which is up. Not 8th of Revolt, I think it's Amonkhet, that's the word. To Idleshire! The strong do not gather in Idleshire, the strong gather in Ralga's Reach, but, you know, marks for effort. Discard that bone chip. Yeah, when you get a minute, go check over the Twitter feeds. Some of the posts that they made with the some of their devs and stuff were quite funny. Young Arya has invested in her appearance, it would seem. Doesn't she look the part? What is she wearing? I want to scroll around to see. Let's break in that new equipment. There is a hostile organisation of goblins known as the Illuminati making trouble for the people here in Idleshire. The most prominent threat to the populace seems to be the mechanical soldiers controlled by Illuminati aggressors. I say we do the locals a favour by using these clunking contraptions as combat practice. Okay, I can kill some random junk outside. After your battle with Lambard, however, that may be all they amount to. Especially for you, Kira. Your mastery of red magic is such now that I dare say you could handle a mechanical soldier or two on your own. As for you, Ari, your spells have raw power but lack refinement. I think I would prefer to have you training alongside a partner. I wish to try fighting alone. Please understand, before I began learning magic, I felt like I scarcely existed. But when I work to match you in Kira, when I see myself improving, that's when I feel the most alive. That's when my mindless puppet training is taking over. I want naught more than to become a full-fledged red mage. I want to stand at your side and fight as your equal. Well, far be it from me to stop you. Mayhap the perfect way to conquer your difficulties with white magic is to be alone in a situation which offers you little recourse but to rise above them. Learn how to heal yourself or die, is what he basically just said. Both of you should head now towards the Architect, that place, and find your own mechanical foes to overcome. I will be waiting for you here. Chilling out. Damn it, I still never got to see what she was wearing. Oh well, when we come back. Glamour is the real end game. The colour of her hair. I used to make a joke about redheads being evil because I knew a couple of redheads growing up who did some not very nice things. And then I come to this quest line and this guy does this big thing, pronounces himself as evil and turns into a redhead. And now doing a quest, the colour of her hair. And I have a feeling that she's going to turn evil and redheaded as well. So maybe I was onto something all this time. Apologies to all you redheaded people in real life. But I could just be alerting you to your own latent tendencies towards evil, which you can now combat as you know that they're there. Or something. It's totally legit, me calling out my Chocobo to help, because he is wearing Red Mage Barding, so he is too a Red Mage. It's not cheating, I'm letting him train. Yay! Wait for the whole... Oh my god, she didn't come back. I'm so very, very worried. What may have happened to her? I have come to recognize that confident step. Well done, Chocobo. No, me, Kira. Yay! Did you happen to spot Arya on your travels? Unless I have sorely overestimated her abilities, I would have expected her to arrive not long after you. Arya did seem intent on proving herself. Pray forgive the tortured metaphor, but I have a feeling she may have sliced off more than she could fry. Come, let us seek our young mage and render aid if need be. I just want to see her go all psycho evil. And check out her glamour. I kind of know what the skirt is, but I don't know the boots or the top. That's annoying. It's probably one that they just like made for her. Kira, I did it. I won. Yeah, I bet she totally blacked out and used her blacked out. Used her evil puppet black magic. My, that is a fair gathering of goblins. From the looks of it, defeating this lot took almost everything she had. Can you walk, my friend? I've never seen you so... Ah, here she goes. Told ya. Give them to me. Your life energies. Your souls. I must feed. Surely someone, somewhere in Square Enix, is having a laugh here right now. All the memes of gingers being soulless and eating souls. And they're like, let's make this person have red hair and stealing souls. Perpetuating stereotypes on redheads. And just laughing their heads off about it. Her hair, she's become like a Lambard. Stop this, Arya. 'Tis no use. The hunger has overtaken her. We'll have to knock her senseless. I suggest we take her back to Idyshire and let her rest at Rowena's establishment. I only hope she'll be more amenable to discussion when she awakes. It's okay, she's a blonde again. Da-di-da-di-da-di-da. What happened? Did I truly attack you? Yes, you soulless automaton. Gods, why would I do such a thing? I remember defeating that contraption. I remember falling to my knees, exhausted from spellcasting. I remember my thoughts fading away as a roar in my head grew louder and louder. And then... nothing. I don't understand what possessed me. Never would I draw my blade on you, or Zarin, except for when you did. This was poor judgment on my part. I should not have tested you so harshly. Listen to me carefully now, Arya. Never again must you deplete yourself. I have seen how battle can exhaust you, but I failed to understand what grim truth such exhaustion presaged. In the moment you say a roaring drowned out your thoughts, the colour of your hair changed quite distinctly. We witnessed a similar transformation in Lambard ere he began to feed on living aether. Lambard was able to employ magics of incredible power, but it left him hungering for life force. I believe what you experienced was a surrender to that very same hunger. It cannot be. Totally was. My erstwhile colleague described how he enacted a change in his physical being. While I suppose it is possible such a ritual was performed upon you as well, he mentioned the process requiring many years. You have many more questions, I am sure, but for now you must rest. If this hunger takes hold when your aether is exhausted, then it is even more important that you recuperate from your exertions. And Arya, do not despair that you have lost yourself. After all, you are in perfect control now, are you not? Which is why I'm totally leaving you in a room full of civilians. I am. Thank you, Zarin. Kira, we will seek the cure to Arya's condition. Though I have little knowledge of such forbidden arts, I am confident that a determined expedition will yield the answers we require. Prepare yourself for another journey. I wonder if we're going to go chat to Matoya. Yay, we're 63. This is the last one, then we're caught up. Proposes a journey to the cradle of red magery. Are you ready to depart? The journey I have in mind will take us to the mountains of Girabalnia, where we will visit the ziggurat built by the Red Mages of Eld. Was that who built that? Lambard and I once explored those ancient ruins, searching for knowledge of the first incarnation of red magic. That was long ago, before we met Curtis and joined the revolution. Before I realised the manner of hidden wisdom for which Lambard had been truly seeking. Stop making yourself sound all wise. You had no clue until he did the whole bad guy exposition. The edifice itself has now been overrun by Kikarin, but a thorough expedition could still unearth something of value, mayhap even the secrets behind Lambard's occult transformation. Arya, my friend, I must ask that you remain here and continue your convalescence. And no spellcasting! Not even a lick of flame to light a candle. In your weakened state, we know not how suddenly the hunger might return. Yes, of course. Just the thought of what might have happened is enough to make me feel ill. I'll be fine in my sickbed, but what of you two? Are you really going to travel all the way to Girabalnia, just for me? What would you do if the positions were reversed? If Kira were afflicted by a condition and you knew a cure that might be found beyond the mountains, what then? I'd be an awesome vampire. I've already got, like, the sharp teeth and everything. Which, again, I can't show you. Why, I would be out the door in a moment. That you would respond so emphatically is the reason we have no qualms about doing the same for you. Except for the fact that I kind of feel we're just gonna come back to, like, a whole bunch of dead people. Or at least drained people. Arya's worked so hard to master her skills, and I imagine it will be hard to refrain from training for a while, but she must recover from her exhaustion first, before aught else. Come, Kira, the ziggurat awaits. Rest well, Arya. We shall return as swiftly as we are able. I was going to say, I probably don't know who that person is. No, I don't, because people on my friends list names still show up. I cannot actually remember the right teleport. Oh, it's because they're a red mage as well. Oh, the little rocket ship thing? It's a crazy little mount. Show it to you. Well, that wasn't technically a cutscene, but yeah. I've got it here somewhere. Falcon? I just shrank. Looks like the right one. Yeah. It's like some kind of crazy motorcycle. Except it flies. In the areas you can fly. You can't actually fly in the old areas of the game. Or in cities. They introduced flying in the Heaven Wards expansion, which was like the first major one they did. And then this latest one, Stormblood, they introduced like underwater swimming. Yeah, it's all kind of they try and put it down to Magitech, because like the Garleans are all the, you know, they don't use magic and stuff. They use all their little, oh, he's out the front, you know, gadgets and stuff. But yeah, it is kind of funny, and you're like, that doesn't seem to go really in the fantasy settings. Stone tablets. Yes, you did mention it was your forebears who constructed the ziggurat. It was built to suppress the unstable weather that was whipped up in the wake of that era's calamity. A sort of dampening weight that slows the land's raging currents of aether to a trickle. In time, however, the ziggurat also became a library, where successive generations of Red Mage enshrined their stories and their secrets. It is a shame that so many of the precious slates have been lost to plunderers or simply worn down by the ravages of time. As such, I do not expect to find a fully intact record of Lambert's ghostly ride, but at the very least we will discover hints of what the transformation ritual entails. You will take one way and I'll take the other, and we'll both take care not to fall prey to the bandits. I'm Australian. I know how to handle a kangaroo. Especially when I can just fly over the top of them. My flying horse is actually from a crossover event, so it's not exactly Final Fantasy either. But, as you can see, it's a bit weird. It's like kind of a robot horse. I can't remember what the Mackay something or other. I can't remember the name of the actual thing the crossover was. I don't think it was part of the no, I honestly can't remember. I missed a chunk, like easily 3 to 4 months. I was quite ill, had a problem with my gallbladder and got pancreatitis and stuff, and was in hospital for a while and just couldn't play, so I missed some stuff when a lot of this came out and kind of just caught up afterwards. It's like it's a crossover with a game and it's got cool looking gear. That's all that mattered. How did you fare? I discovered a number of tablets myself, which, while positively fascinating, offered little on the subject of occult rituals. Concocting an alchemical potion of Makai origin, filled with the folklore of ancient Amdapor. Describing the early history of red magic, apparently nothing useful. Or maybe the early red magic. Yeah. Oh, if I'm reading this one correctly, you may have found exactly what we were looking for. What? It appears to be a record from the time before red magic was unified as a distinct discipline. The passage describes a rite by which one can make a pact with a void sen. I was joking about the selling your soul to a demon thing. And ingest its blood in exchange for supernatural power. Even amongst their kin, certain creatures of the void harbour a voracious appetite for living aether. Lambard must have acquired the ability to siphon his victim's life force from one such fiend. The practice in question is said to have started with a family of Makai sorcerers who lived in the era preceding the Sixth Umbral Calamity. For red mages who arts draw so heavily upon their own aether, there is an obvious, if distasteful, advantage to stealing a foe's life energies. And if one can employ such energies to fortify and sustain one's own form, as Lambard did, then one can even wield magics beyond the limits of ordinary mortals. Not surprisingly, however, its tendency to result in aether-starved madmen led to the rite being declared a forbidden art. Kinda got a bit of a dry sense of humour, this guy. There's more. Some mention of an alchemical concoction that would serve to sate the hunger for aether when living prey was unavailable, and the helpful scribe has even included a method for its preparation. Aya's transformation was strikingly similar to Lambard's. Surely this concoction would prove effective at curbing her condition as well. Let's see here. It seems the main ingredient is a chunk of semi-crystallized aether. Such a substance could be drawn from the core of an urolith, and I'm thinking the bigger the better. If I recall correctly, there are uroliths to be found to the east in the vicinity of the Sleeping Stones. Pray find yourself one of the largest specimens and procure an ethereal core. Once you have what we need, we can rendezvous in the hamlet of Alagana. I shall busy myself collecting the other ingredients. She went back to being blonde, though. And honestly, aether condenses and crystallizes to form materia, which we have craploads of. I've probably got thousands of it sitting on one of my retainers as we speak. So why do I have to go and kill some monster and try and get it there when I can just be like, here, have all my old rubbish, you know, piety material I never use. He didn't think this through. I'm running on it. Doo-dunk, doo-dunk. We shall hang out over here because they can and will aggro to us at our level. It is a rather large specimen, as he stated. Bolton? Yeah, it must work on me. teleport back because I'm lazy and it's quicker. Of course it was. It's massive. I suppose it's only semi-crystallized. Material must be too much crystal. This will do nicely, enough to create a decent-sized dose at any rate. I've gathered together the other ingredients, so all that's left to do is deliver them into the hands of an experienced alchemist. I'm an experienced alchemist! Why don't you go on ahead to Ardashar and avail her of our progress? I'll meet you there as soon as I'm finished haggling with the potion mixers and all the... I'm totally a trained crafter. I just... Wow. No faith. At all. She actually is here. I was so sure that she was going to have vanished or something. A kind of potion, and it's supposed to help with the hunger. That will be one less worry then. Do you think Zarin will be back soon? I'm ever so hungry. Can I eat your face? I am returned. Arya, pray drink this concoction, and I shall tell you of our discoveries in Girabania. By the gods! The taste was not exactly pleasant, but I already feel much recovered. It's as if a cool stream of water was poured on the fire in my chest. I don't know how to thank you. Try not to kill me would be nice. Your smile is the finest reward we could ask for, but I ask that you do not become complacent. That tonic is merely meant to help replenish your depleted aether. It will do naught to undo the underlying affliction. I understand. If I exhaust my mana again, I'll be back where I was, a savage controlled by hunger, which means I should still give up on training for now. For now. So you think a Lambard infused me with void scent blood while I was held captive? According to what I found in the Yellow Jacket's incident records, the span of time that elapsed between your kidnapping and subsequent rescue was not terribly long, and for much of your ordeal you were shut inside a box. It seems unlikely that there was sufficient opportunity to perform a highly complicated and dangerous ritual. No, we must look elsewhere for the truth behind your condition. Maybe he was secretly her daddy. You must let me help you. She have 3 rings on? That's not allowed. If it allows me to begin practicing magic again, even one day earlier, it is torture watching the moments pass, wasting time I could be using to catch up to you. Somebody sounds power hungry. I'll certainly try, although I'm not sure what help I'll be. I think we'll have our suffering friend delve into the scrolls for us. The Sharlayans left behind a veritable mountain of lore through which we can dig for answers. Kira, I shall leave you to your training. After all, you must give Arya an ever-growing peak to look up to. I suppose I am just taller than her. Yay! Da 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 da. Right. Where to? I was actually just going to do like random dailies and stuff and got totally carried away in catching up with there. I think I'm actually going to call it a night there. This is my second stream of the day, and it's brought me to a total of like 8 hours, and my voice is starting to feel it a little, unfortunately. Thanks very much everyone who came along and watched. I hope you enjoyed yourself. If you'd like to see more of my streams, you can follow me here on Twitch. You can see my little schedule underneath my video. So it will a little bit. You can also follow me on Twitter, as I will always post before I'm going live and what I will be doing. You can also subscribe to me on YouTube if you like, and I am now also on Mixer, thanks to the wonder of restreaming. You should be able to find me on all of those under Deviant Sock Puppet as well. Additionally, if you would like to help support my stream more, you can donate or subscribe. Of course, none of that is mandatory, but it's always very much appreciated. I like to put all of my donations back into my stream. You can see at the top I've got a stream goal there to hopefully get a webcam. That and my proper mic are kind of my next major investments, but the mic's going to take a little while longer, so I thought let's go for the webcam first, as they have inbuilt mics that might be a little bit better. And if you are a Amazon Prime member, you can actually link your Twitch account to Amazon, and you get a free Twitch sub every month, so you can actually subscribe for free if you are a Amazon Prime subscriber. So another cool little perk you get there. But like I said, it is not mandatory in any way, shape or form, but I do always appreciate the help and support. But until next time, thanks for watching guys, and happy gaming.